Another Gladiator draft with the movie theme. Got to keep it going. Back with the fellas. We're going to do an NFC East at the same time. NFC East fantasy breakdown. So, we got two divisions left: NFC East, AFC East. So we got Mike, Joey, and Josh here. I think Dan's going to join us a little bit later. We'll see if Joe pops in maybe at some point. But so Gladiator again. We did one of these last week. Again, this is 14 rounds. It's 2 running backs, 3 receivers, the tight end. You get 4 flexes, a kicker and a defense, and you get 2 quarterbacks. So you got to draft 2 quarterbacks. You can't put one of the quarterbacks in the flex. The flex is just a traditional flex, but you can get really creative with these again. So check it out, playnffc.com. They got tons of different types of tournaments going on. So this is 14 rounds. We're going to see how we build this. We'll get into the NFC East as well. So what's going on, boys? I see Joey takes Jamar Chase first. Not concerned about the injury. And then I go with Josh Allen in the 5 spot. And then Josh follows that up with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. He said he's fine. We'll trust it. We hope.
Yeah, so, he's got a couple weeks yet. He'll be fine.
He missed practice today, right?
But they said he didn't have no braces or nothing on either today. I've seen so.
Yeah, I think he's fine. It's obviously it's real scary. I know.
It didn't look good.
How are you feeling when you first heard about that news? I mean, all the injury news we're getting. People are freaking out about every single little injury, but I mean, this was kind of scary for you. It had to be, right?
I got a text message. Me and my son, Jacob, and Dan have a group text, and Jacob sent a text and said, "What happened to Jamar?" And immediately, Dan, I hate football, and I was like, "Oh God," my heart sunk, and so immediately I'm like on Twitter trying to see it, and I see him on the ground, this and that, and then when I saw the video, I was like, "This is not good," It's just, I mean, and it's what happens in Cincinnati. I mean, that's why we named our show the Heartbreakers, because it's always a heartbreaker. And I thought, man, not another preseason injury that's going to derail our season. But sounds like he's going to be fine. He's got a couple weeks, and Jamar's tough. He's played through a couple of injuries, but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he's all right. Thank God. He was. That could have been a disaster right from the start. I mean, I know how it is as a Bengals fan. I'm a Jets fan, so it's very similar. Gamberg's in the house tonight. He's going to drop some knowledge about the Eagles and maybe comment on our draft a little bit. He's got a OC at 10 o'clock to take advantage of the kindergartners over there that are drafting.
Trying to gather all the knowledge I can with you three. I need it, man. Tough room probably tonight. Tough room, I'm sure.
All the big dogs are getting ready for that legacy league right now, so Mike's taking advantage of the rooms right now. And that's gonna be incredible on Friday night. I mean, that's like, I'm pretty souped up to watch that Friday night.
That's who all's in it. Do y'all know?
Chad, Steve G and Nelson and Hubbard. I know Chris has a partner. I don't know about the rest though. Do you know, Josh?
So Santos is in it. Chad Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
That's two different teams. Vaccaro has a partner that we don't know yet who it is, and then Hubbard, Steve G, and Nelson. The three amigos have a team, and other than that, it's just those 4. So other than that,
yeah, I don't know who else is in it.
I think it's the people that, like I was telling Joe, I said people that probably guys that have $100,000 like $10 to you and I, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I roll. They want to get in. Maybe who knows? Maybe some guys do have experience, but it'll be interesting to see the other characters that are in the draft. That are unknown, I guess, unknown to our high stakes world.
Go back and listen to this week's Fantasy Empire on Player Profiler. That they talked about that draft in the beginning, and Nelson and Vaccaro spoke quite a bit about it's one thing drafting in the NFFC, or if you're familiar with the FFPC and you know your rooms, you know the people you're drafting against, or most of them. They don't know these other players, and this is such high stakes that they don't know what theories other guys have that they're playing against. So they're gonna have to be willing to maybe pivot on a dime, change their strategy. But the group of guys from the NFFC that's in it, they're all studs. They're smart guys, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch it. Honestly,
Oh yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll watch it in Louisville that night.
What time is that draft? 9?
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Is it 7 o'clock in Vegas? 10 o'clock
Yes,
here?
10 o'clock here, Eastern time. Is that good or bad for you?
Well, I'm going to have to change my plans. I thought it was 7 o'clock Eastern.
Nah. They're not going to host that big an event at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Vegas.
Well, I wondered. I don't know.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, who knows who's going to be in it? You probably got a couple Vegas big wigs in there. Maybe
You got guys probably that
hell no.
fantasy, and like I said, maybe they,
It's been very
maybe.
hush hush, and I
$100,000 to them is like coffee money to us. I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm surprised.
well, there's a couple.
you don't know.
there's
Maybe there is a couple sharp guys, other sharp guys. You never know.
There's a couple former athletes that are really, really big into fantasy football. And I mean, I could see, I don't know. I'm just throwing out a name like an Austin Eckler or somebody like that. I don't know. I don't know. Austin Eckler hasn't retired, so maybe he can't get in something like that.
I think they would have mentioned that if somebody was there because they know that.
It's hush hush. Greg's the only one talking about any. Well, really, Greg hasn't mentioned. It's just the Fantasy Empire that's.
Those guys all know the other competitors.
No,
they're drafting again. They know who the names they are. Yeah, sure they do.
They had a meeting.
They had a meeting basically and going over the rules.
No.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they probably know who it is. They probably just don't know their drafting styles because they never drafted with them before. That's probably what it is, So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be on the NFC High Stakes Network on their YouTube channel. So 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Definitely be tuning in. That's the highest entry ever in fantasy football, $100,000 and $600,000 to the winner, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is going to kind of change fantasy football. The future of fantasy football. I really think you might see 2 of these tournaments next year. You may see $50,000 entry. I think it's going to put fantasy football on the map, high stakes fantasy football on the map. So if you guys are new to the game, play NFFC. You've got FFPC and RT Sports, and then of course FFWC this year came over to NFFC, and have the Circuit Championship. So yeah, it's going to be great. So Dan starts with 2 running backs, which is, I guess that's different for him, with Bijan and Henry here. And Joey starts with Chase and McConkey. He loves.
I've not had that combination yet.
I was a little Lad. Lad, man. He's a talented kid, man, and no Keenan Allen in the building. It does seem like it's going to be a very nice combination between him and Herbert. That's a nice combo to start with. I start with Allen and Walker. Walker a little bit banged up. Supposedly his freaking foot doesn't fit the shoe right, and he's got a swollen foot or something. I don't know. Josh starts Amon-Ra and Hampton, and Gamberg is not in this draft. But again, he's going to drop some knowledge on Philly. We're going to get a good insight as this. We're doing an NFC East preview here as well. DeVonta Smith is on the cover of the thumb. We can kind of get into it at any point. I think Mike, you got to leave. What? I think you got some time, right?
9:50. I only need 10 minutes to warm up.
All right. Yeah. So
go right to the first tee.
We could wait a little bit to get into the division.
Yeah, I don't need.
So you guys,
this will be an interesting draft so far.
Josh with a good nice pick, Josh.
The thing about this draft though is it's best team, so you want to I didn't really want to take a guy that's starting off with an injury, but I think Malik's going to be fine. Because there's no fab in this. Once we draft them, we're stuck with them. And I think that
your first share, Steve. DeVonta?
No, I have a little bit, but I'm going to start ramping up on him now. Go ahead, Josh. Finish your thought there, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's why Dan started off with Bijan, and then Henry slides back to him. That's two solid guys that, knock on wood, no real injury histories there. Like they're tough dudes, bigger backs, and that's looks to be two guys he can depend on all season.
Yeah, again, no fab in this. This is, and then it's not like best ball. So if Josh Allen goes down, my two quarterbacks go down, I got nobody to replace them. You can only your lineup is your lineup. So that's why it's a gladiator. The guys go down. There's nobody on your bench. You're not playing your best lineup every week. It's just the only lineup that you have that you can put out there. So it's pretty much, it's similar to almost like a postseason league where you draft a team and if a guy gets knocked out in the playoffs, that's it. You can't replace him. So it's it's a cool format. I don't know how many of you. I think this is my fourth gladiator. How many you guys done so far?
4.
Yeah.
It's number 4 for me.
I just did one with you guys the other day.
And you got Allen in the 7th spot, which was nice.
Yeah, Steve, remember that? Steve liked that. You liked that one.
Oh yeah, I mean,
What spot were you? I guess you were behind me. Obviously, you would have taken him.
I'm probably the only guy in this room that drafts Josh Allen early in drafts.
I was going to.
In this format, there's nothing wrong.
You took him in the right spot.
I'll do it in in redrafts, in OCs and prime times. I like getting Allen. He makes me feel nice and cushy when I draft him.
You sleep like a baby, as they would say. I took an Allen DJ Moore team in 3-4 the other day in the OC.
I was going Josh Allen at 4 if Chase was not there.
And I think I got Kincaid with him, too. I went the whole 9 yards with that, my first Allen share.
In
the OCs.
When I saw the draft order come out, I thought, I might have a chance at Josh Allen. And then I saw D'Angelo beside me, and I was like, there's no way. He ain't making it past Steve. I know he's going to take him. Man, Dan got Loveland, too.
Alfred takes DJ Moore from me. So I got to work something else there.
I'm going to do this just to lock this one up. I started to go there too.
Nice.
Yeah, Joey gets the stack here, and again, quarterbacks are going to go earlier here because you're taking 2 quarterbacks. You have to take 2 quarterbacks.
I was surprised. There was only 3 at that point.
Yeah, remember last year the early ones like Allen used to go number 1 or number 2. Like people were treating it almost like a super flex league where the quarterbacks were going right off the bat, but now people have kind of adjusted to that and are waiting on the quarterbacks a little bit more.
That's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
These are so much fun because it just completely flips. I mean, their ADP really isn't worth anything, right. But like Team 11 picking Drake May first. Honestly, that deterred me from picking A.J. Brown because if I didn't have a shot at A.J. Brown with May, I didn't want him. And then they end up with A.J. Brown in the 3rd round.
Right.
To complete the stack, which is completely opposite of what we would see
that he took Genty with him. That's a surprise.
Yeah. And there's no dip on Genty right now. There was for a few hours. And man, if you got in one of those 2 or 3 drafts Sunday evening, could have got something different, but since then it looks like it's just right back to status quo. He's going in the 2nd round, but he's still going with the same guys that he was going with when he was in the 1st round.
What was the news today? Is he going to play first week?
I think he's got a chance.
Or is it still
in the air right now?
Did I hear right that it's more lower than it is
The
high?
lowest high ankle sprain you ever see. Come on, that's like
To me, it's the weirdest ankle injury I've ever seen. I can't believe nobody don't really know.
Has anybody seen a video of it?
Mm-mm.
No, because it was during the closed portion of practice.
So, I'm surprised nothing's been leaked yet. They leaked the Jed York video arrest today. So that.
Yeah, man, that guy.
Wasn't that East Palestine? Wasn't that where they had that big explode? That
Train derailment.
Yeah, train derailment, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Niners, they got a lot of crazy stuff going on. The Browns got a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's the Jets. So far so good for the Jets. So,
man, I feel the same way with the Bengals, especially back in the day. It's like, oh man, if we could make it through the postseason without being in the news, going to jail or anything, we're all right.
Well, there was a report today that Woody Johnson is doing some research on Mike Tomlin, so he's already gearing up for the future, basically.
And there was already rumor that Lamar Jackson is wanting to leave Baltimore if Tomlin ends up in New York.
Really?
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yep. So that Tomlin, who knows? He's his coach is gone. He's with a new coach, new coordinator. So that's possible with Jackson.
I'll tell you, these leagues like this right here, when you go that quarterback, you kind of show your hand, the stack that you're trying to build. Like with Team 11, he got AJ Brown anyway, but that was.
I like what Team 12's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know about Love, but that's upside. He's.
I think he'll be ready to go week one. He was showing him delivering pizzas today because he was a rookie. His rookie job. So.
Yeah, he was running up the steps onto the plane.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that movie Fat Boys when they brought in like 12 Domino's pizzas?
Oh yeah.
House. That's what it reminded me of.
Dan texted me. We were talking, so I don't think we caught it, but Team 11 auto picked Drake May and Ashton Genty.
Wow.
I was bragging on him for throwing that stack together backwards, and the first half of it was a auto pick.
Couldn't ask for no better.
Hey, look, sometimes that stuff works out.
Yeah, but you're right, Joey. Going back to your point, the quarterbacks are taken first rather than second, so you kind of know what the combination is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Although
What's up, J-Mo?
Shout out to J-Mo, hopping in the chat. Scott White says, any tips on finding people to fill spots in the league? Always sucks when people bail late. You just got to call somebody and their mother that that possibly plays fantasy football. That's what I do. Luckily, I know a lot of people that play fantasy, so I usually have a pretty easy time filling things up. But what else can you do? Other than if you run out of options, maybe you go on Reddit and ask for a credit report. I don't know.
Let's see.
Right? What else can you do? You have to ask your friends and family. You ask maybe some people that never played before. I don't know. Get your wife involved. Get your kids involved. I don't know.
Man, if your buddy isn't watching Thursday night football every week or watching the Sunday morning games in London or wherever they're at, then he's probably not going to be a good candidate for fantasy football.
I'll tell you what,
if you call him up in May and want to talk football and he's not all about it, you probably don't want him in your league.
Steve, Sanders shot me a snapshot of his draft. Your boy Scherzer's cleaning up tonight from the 11th hole. He took Chase Brown, Jefferson, Pickens in the 3rd, Watson in the 4th, Loveland in the 5th, Brian Thomas 6th, Corum and Prescott to get that. Wow, that's powerful.
Who's Scherzer?
Isn't that your boy? No. Isn't that Pete?
That's Pistol Pete.
Isn't that Pistol Pete?
Oh, that's Pete. I didn't know his last name. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know him as Pistol Pete.
That's Pistol Pete, man. He's killing it tonight.
I just became acquaintance with him like a month ago.
Oh, I thought he was your main man. I don't know.
He's a cool dude. He's been, we've been chatting a little bit. But
I'll tell you what, he's killing it tonight.
Yeah, he's good. He's getting sound.
Wow.
Oh my God.
He's headed out to Vegas. You guys know him, right, Josh? You drafted with him already, right?
I knew who he was because he snagged Burrow from us in a bullet last year, and I never forgot that name. So I see what you're doing over there, Jewett. If he's watching, I know where he's going with this next one.
Yeah. Is O'Brien going to stop him? He's going a little. I see exactly what he's doing. I
know where it's going out
here. It is. PW. That's my high school. PW, Plymouth White Marsh.
What a bunch of crap.
That was a nice layup for him right there.
Steve, the only thing I was known for before I got into fantasy, social media and the fantasy, is I went to the same high school as Fanatics Michael Rubin.
Oh, nice.
No kidding.
And that's still the only thing I'm known for. Yep. I graduated with his sister.
I'm going to load up on this position.
That's a great company, Fanatics. I buy a lot of stuff from them. All right, let's go DeVonta. I mean, are you guys buying these reports that the chemistry is off the chains with Stafford this year? I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, he kind of got there late last year, and it was his first year with Stafford, and I feel like Adams I think he's got one really good year left. What do you guys think?
Steve, you go out with every draft with at least one Jet on your roster?
No, definitely not.
No, you sometimes go empty.
I tried to avoid.
You go naked without Jets? Come on.
To avoid the Jets as much.
You probably take that tight end or Breland or Allen or.
No, I don't like Braylon Allen. I don't really ever take him.
Or Cooper.
I take Wilson and Brees. That's it. That's as far as I'll go. But every time I do it, I feel terrible about it. Pretty much. The Jets are, they're a disaster waiting to happen. I'm telling you, man, the chances that Bailey Zappi starts after week 10 are like at least 50% with the Jets. So, which would be an absolute disaster for the
right. Offense. That's why I don't have any Jets and don't plan to.
I mean, it's smart. It's smart.
You're right. You just said it best. If that's that, what's that? In terms, people think, well, garbage time. I mean, are they really in weeks 15 to 17? If they're 2-win team or whatever, you think they're going to run Brees Hall 20 times? You think they're going to, Wilson? I mean, they're going to, like you said, they're going to they're going to experiment. Why waste their expensive guys to let them get hurt for nothing?
Yeah. Now the positive case for the Jets obviously is if Geno can stay healthy. They do have a lot of weapons.
They win one game by Thanksgiving. Is that the positive thing?
Maybe Aaron Glenn's trying to save his job. Maybe. I have absolutely zero expectations for the Jets. But back to what I wanted to talk about was Davante Adams before we got into the Jets rant. Anybody want to comment on Adams this year, based off all the reports and everything?
I mean, I like I have him one time, but that's with a stack in NOC with Puka and Stafford. I mean, he was touchdown dependent last year, but yeah, I mean, he could be solid for where he's going.
I mean, that was like one of the easiest bets you could have made last year was like the Adams anytime touchdown, because every time he was by the goal line, he would get one-on-one with a corner and absolutely just shred him up, and Stafford would just give him the ball. So I don't really see why that changes too much. I mean,
it's in his contract. Adam said, "I'm only signing. You got, I got to get at least 2 balls inside the 5-yard line. I got to get 2 targets a game."
Yeah, I think the biggest concern is just the health, obviously, with Adams, at 33 years old. But, 10 touchdowns.
There's Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete's killing it. Pistol, you're killing it with that Santa OC, I see. I think you got the winning lottery ticket.
What's the team again, Mike?
What?
What's Pistol Pete's team in that league?
He's team 11. Right?
Oh, who's on his
What
roster?
team is that? We can't see it.
His team. Pistol's right here. Pistol, come on. Pistol took
I got 16 screens open. I'm investigating.
Oh man. I got okay. He took Chase Brown, Jefferson, Pickens, Watson, Loveland, BTJ,
You're right, Josh.
Corum, Prescott, Dowdle.
Yeah,
Is that? Did I get that right? I don't. What's afterwards? That's all Sanders got.
I like that Jefferson in the second round.
He sniped you 3 times. Give me a break. Your team's loaded. Pistols taking over tonight. Good thing I didn't get in the 8 o'clock. I got into Mr. Softy draft at 10.
Mr. Softy. Drafting the Mr. Softy, then you take a Mr. Softy.
I could use a Mr. Softy right now. You got those in your ear? Did you have those in your areas? Steve in Jersey?
Yeah, Mr. Softies, of
Yeah,
course.
there's nothing like it.
Yeah, of course.
Santa never sniped us. I saw Santa's team. I think Santa was drinking tonight.
All right, so Josh, you get the dart combo with Nabers, very nice, and nice second running back there in Ramondre. All the reports. Ramondre's way.
He's
ahead.
right, Dairy Queen. You're right, Pistol.
Trust
I do like Dairy Queen.
Trevion, so Ramondre's the guy there for now. So, and I think he's going to maintain as long as he's healthy. So, I think Ramondre's a good, solid running back too.
He's at least 50%, right? If he stays healthy, it doesn't sound like Trevion's going to take that thing all the way over as long as Ramondre's in good health. So it's a lot different. This being my fourth one, my first 3 was I had 2 at the 10 pick and 1 at the 12. Being in the middle in this style of draft is very different because it's hard to read the board because people can just go any which way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then Pittman too, man. We've been talking about him for a couple of months now.
I like Pittman.
Just seems like a very sound pick. Nice lunch pail guy, and he'll get the job done with Rodgers. But he's got to get healthy too. Hasn't
Here
really.
comes the quarterbacks.
He hasn't been practicing at all.
Everybody's grabbing their second quarterback.
All right, is Joey going to go to quarterback here?
And I think Joey is going QB.
That's his boy.
I was going to go with Jordan Love. That was my target. But I'm weak on running back, so Tyler Shuck runs a little bit. So.
Steve, what are you doing, buddy?
I'm thinking I can go many of different ways.
Steve will run it. Don't hit the wrong button, Steve. That was the funniest thing in the world. You want to conception? You hit the button for Herbert. Wasn't a bad miss. If you're gonna make a mistake, make it with Herbert.
All right, I'm gonna take this guy again.
Oh, double touch. Nice. I like that. I like that move. Creative.
I was gonna take a receiver that I haven't really been getting, but maybe
I like that combo.
You know who I think I'm gonna start drafting more of is Sam Laporta.
What are they saying about his week 1 stat? Are they going to be ready to go?
And there he goes.
Josh, you're shaking your head. He's ready to go. Laporta.
Yeah, it sounds like that's not anything to be worried about.
Yeah, he practiced today. He returned to practice.
What's weird about the week, like
That's
the
good for me. I
season's
got a lot
starting a
really
lot later
important.
this year. So even though we're in the week 3 of the preseason, we still got like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before these guys get out on the field. Most of them.
Yeah.
It's like with Jamar, I don't think that. I mean, I don't know what the team's schedule is for next week, but I don't think that Jamar sees the field again until like the Thursday before the first game. I think they keep him out a full 2 weeks and let him rest up. And
I wouldn't want to leave his mansion for till opening day.
put that in bubble wrap.
We don't even want to see it to opening day.
Do you think that's going to drop his price? Do you think
No.
he'll start going 4 or 5 maybe?
Nah.
Had he dropped last night, I guarantee you, me and Dan would have been in an OC tonight. If anything would have came out today that would have caused it to dip, we would have got in an OC because, I mean, to be able to get him in the 5 or 6 spot compared to the 3 spot, or God forbid he falls a little bit farther than that, but no. And then with Genty bouncing basically right back to where, like I said, in the early second round, which makes him basically a late first rounder, with there being 16, 17 first round guys. There wasn't too many reasons. Genty went 3-6 tonight.
Look at him.
Oh man.
Wow. Let's see.
Like
The guy went JSN, Drake, London, Genty, ETN.
when you can get Genty with Puka or Chase, Bijan, Gibbs.
JSN in London. He got
Like, how does he get past those 4 guys? Like that's completely unique in a spot that Genty wasn't going all year.
Well, Pete
Right.
did the right move. Pete took Jefferson and Pickens. I like that. But the Sanda took your boy Wilson. Would you taking Genty with Hampton and Lamb, Steve? Or would you taking Wilson, your boy from your Jet boy? I might have taken a swung at Genty.
Balls, yeah, I'm taking him every time. I wish I would have jumped in those first drafts when he hurt. And he went in the 9th round in one of those drafts. That's crazy. I mean, that's insane. So what a value, Yeah, if he was in the 3rd round tonight, I definitely would have took him. I don't care what my build was.
Wow, 3-6.
So Josh, I'm just saying, like, if Chase is not in practice for another week or two, say 2 more weeks, or right before the season, do you think you think he's going to firmly sit in that 3 spot, even if he's not practicing all the way up until the season start, basically?
Yeah, if you go back 2 years ago when he was holding in, he didn't practice till the week before he may not have practiced at all until, like, I think Dan remembers better than me, but I think me and Dan was in Vegas, and maybe it was when we first got out there that they signed his contract. So he just had 2 or 3 days to get ready for the first game, and he was going like pick 7, pick 8 that year. Even with him not practicing, I know holding in is a little different from an injury, but I don't think there's anything to be worried about. They're not talking about him having an MRI or anything like that. Like, they must feel pretty good. He must feel pretty good about it. So
Plus, he's been catching passes ever since LSU. They got the chemistry anyway, so they don't need reps.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe, people would be like, well, maybe this injury is something a little bit more,
I guess if he had showed up to the stadium today and his knee would have been swollen or something, then they probably would have been like, all right, let's go get an MRI or whatever. But I mean, I think he's good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think sometimes people may take a JSN or a Monra there or something, just to feel a little bit more safe. But for the most part, you're right. I think he's just going to stay.
Well, and the other thing you got to remember in the OCs is that there's going to be guys that land that 3 spot that maybe was trying to get spot 4, 5, or 6 as we're closing out the drafting season. So as they land that 3 spot, maybe they've had it 8 or 9 times, and so they want to differ from Chase and get one of the other guys.
Yeah, that's another dynamic of NFFC, especially, or even best ball when people are doing so many drafts, they're trying to get certain guys in certain spots because they know they can't get them, and then they can have certain builds. So it's like a strategy in itself.
This guy's clocking up team sevens, just hoarding all the running backs.
Barkley, Kenny, Tootin, Hendy.
Pete's got a question. I'm not the guy to answer this one.
You talking OCs and prime times, Pete,
I think he's talking Gladiator, right, Pete?
Or you talking
OC.
Gladiator?
Oh, yeah. I think that's about right, Steve. 6 or 7. Probably seven wides. 6. That's the right number. You're right on it.
Yeah, usually 6. I mean, I guess it depends on what your starters are. If they're shitty, then you can go up to 7. The guy last night had 3 and 11.
Pete, we should be asking you. You just queen clocking your OC, Pete. You don't need us to answer that question. You just queen Sanders clock right tonight.
Santa does snipe you a lot. That's for sure. He's a sniper. All right, so Joey's
Sanders said Javonte Williams won the second round in that draft.
Wow.
Josh.
Wow.
Second round.
So, that's kind of what you're seeing. You're seeing new guys come into these drafts. They have
Monte Brown and Javonte Williams. Hey, Pete, like that. Yeah, Pete, you should be teaching us tonight. We're just listening to what you're writing in the chat. Look at Dan's going for speed on the outside. Golden and Shaheed. He wants the big playability.
Does.
Got him,
A little back-to-back receiver combo there. For sure.
Joey gets his tight end. Good move.
NFC edition. NFC East edition.
Pete's asking, we got a few questions for us gurus. You turned on the wrong station if you wanted the gurus, Pete. Turn on NBC. We're ABC. We don't have it tonight for you.
Oh,
ahead, Pete.
man. This is one of those picks that just feels like it's probably something I should take in the 14th round.
Let's see it.
There's a couple out there that don't have their second quarterback, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and lock it up.
Could you guys hear me okay? Because my freaking mic was all the way on the other side. I didn't even realize
it just needs turned up. It might need turned up just a little bit, Steve.
No,
it is a little quiet.
I just swung it over. It wasn't even in front of my face.
He's got his solo mode on. He's used to going solo to night out. His night out mode.
For let me know. You guys didn't let me know nothing. I probably sound like a freaking
No, I thought you said okay.
whipper over here. All right. Well, we're good to go now. So, yeah, it happened the other night. My daughter turned the dials down. I had the mic in front of my face. My daughter comes in here and turns my dials around sometimes.
Hey, Pete, go ahead and ask whatever questions you want, as long as they pertain to prime times that you'll be drafting in Vegas against me and Dan, and I'll be sure to give you good info.
They'll steer you in the right direction.
Hey, Steve, how's the slow draft going in the FFWC that you were doing?
It's all wrapped up.
Oh, is it done?
Yeah.
I did.
I'm going to do probably 1 or 2 more of those, and then I'm done.
I was bored. I did an FFPC gorilla yesterday at 5:30. Guys, never again. These guys it took me an hour 50 minutes to do one. I mean, all these guys they must have taken a little bus to school.
The
Unbelievable.
nerve of that.
An hour and 50 minutes. I was talking to Joe. I said, I couldn't believe it. I said, get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
I mean, I like the team, but how do you take an hour? You're taking down to you're bleeding the clock on a week.
Maybe you accidentally,
Man,
hey, Mike, you didn't accidentally get in the FFPC tag team draft, did you?
I would never. I don't know why I did. I did 3 and 3 early. And I don't know why I did one. I felt like I wanted to, I had a decent team. I liked the team, but I just couldn't. I had no patience for that. What have we done in an hour 15, right, Josh, on these OCs?
Pete said last night the OC it was over 2 hours.
I would have killed. I would have.
You know what it is?
That's ridiculous.
You're getting guys that are, they don't have as many entries. They're taking their time. They don't have 19 entries.
Taking their time. I mean, in rounds 1, 2, and 3. I mean, if you're taking your time, you should be taking up another hobby.
Understand their point of view.
Take another hobby. If you're taking rounds 1 and 2, you're bleeding the clock.
Happy, man. You're gonna clean up on them. They're kindergarten boys. So why not? I got
this 10 o'clock OC better go smooth.
I don't know. You might be there for 2 hours.
I'll get this. As long as they give me a Mont St. Brown at 7, I'll take it all day. They can take us. They can take their time all they want.
All right, so we're wrapping up this baby. Only a couple more rounds. We're going to get into the NFC East preview. We'll start with the Eagles, and Mike will give us his rundown, and then he's going to hop over onto the 10 o'clock OC. But Joey's got a nice build going on. Chase, McConkey, Waddle, Herbert, Watson, Dunze, Brooks, and Corum. Very nice. Again, you only have to start 2 running backs. So, he's fine. He's good to go. You only have to start 1 tight end, Goddard. He's got his 2 quarterbacks. So I like that team, Joey.
I went wide receiver heavy.
Yeah.
I'm on Dunze. I know everybody I like Loveland and on Dunze. I like Burden, but I don't know if he makes it through the season. I watched him last year. He caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone or missed one, and it's like he was down and out in San Francisco last year. I'm like, I don't know. He might be deep bubble wrapped a lot, but I like Odunze. He was a top tier wide receiver, going. I'll let Steve pick.
Keep taking this guy, let him fall to me. Just hope he comes back, week 2, week 3, or whatever it is, week 5, I'll take it. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, if you can get the second option on that Bears passing attack, it's going to look pretty nice. So,
I think this guy's going to get
the number 2.
We'll put him in the flex.
Or Burden, that's the question. Jeremiah,
none of you guys believe in running backs.
Did you guys?
Well, don't
you
in
guys,
this draft you only have to have 2, and everybody wants that. You want the upside of the wide receivers, but I think that there's
So
you
Steve,
want to have.
You're riding 3 running backs at most
that are going to be solid.
Right.
Steve, you're running 3 running backs at most.
Yeah, you're basically taking the best pick on the board. That's what you're trying to do. So,
but don't you got to start? I mean, if one gets hurt, you're stuck without a running back for the rest of the year, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it starts all 14 of them every week.
Yeah,
right. That's
true.
true.
The guy goes down. There's nowhere. That's why it's the Gladiator. The guy goes down. He gets eaten by.
They get down anyway. You're right. I forgot that.
You're out. You're out. Freaking.
You might as well take 2 and be done with it then.
You're not going to be enjoying those grapes. A couple guys goes down, early on in the season, like,
Steve, I like your second. That's a good pairing with Josh Allen Willis.
Yeah, I mean, I have a million shares of Malik Willis. At this point, I'm just going to keep going in on him.
Well, so I like what Steve did really. He's got Walker and Hall, but he's got Willis and Allen both going to give him some rushing. So his running back room set.
Seattle D. I mean, I took them last night. They kind of fell to me, and I like it here. What do you guys think? Do you think their defense is going to be as good as they were last year? Or they've got a little bit of a fall off this year.
I'm not sure.
Have you guys been watching the Hard Knocks at all?
No, is it and what is it any good?
I watched one episode. It was good. Yeah. I kind of like McDonald. He's I like the way. It's always interesting to learn these guys' personalities. So yeah, the first episode was good. I'm gonna continue to watch it. I think there's 4 episodes so far.
Josh, I like that Algier pick.
Well,
Touchdown. Mr. Touchdown.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, and he's going to have he may have a decent role the first 4 weeks, and then get a touchdown.
If he stays healthy, he's probably going to have a role the whole year.
I think he will.
They're just not going to. They're not going to overwork him, especially coming off. He's missing all of training camp now. Rookie, why they're not going to run him into the ground?
That's the thing. That's kind of the thing with this league, though, Mike. Like you want guys that are going to be healthy.
I like it. I like that Algier. It's
tough.
Well, did you see Jordan Love today? He
Same with Stevenson.
Going around today in practice.
Yeah, I mean.
So Algier might have a good 2-3 weeks to start the season. It's a good pick, and he might have a role all year. I mean, it could be similar to what Algier was that first year with Bijan.
I agree.
So that's why Love's price to me was a little, kind of crazy. But if he goes in like the 4th round, I kind of like him there. All right, Mike. Well, we only got a couple minutes. Why don't we get your Eagles breakdown real quick before, and we'll start the NFC East, breakdown here with you. You can get right into it, man. I know you got your qualms about Jalen Hurts. How do you feel about AJ Brown?
Jalen Hurts has thrown as many interceptions in practice as he has touchdowns. I mean, they were going nuts yesterday. I think Lemon hit the field. There was 45,000 in the link for practice. I think, they're fanatics, and we're fanatics in Philly. You won't see me there at a practice or a preseason game, but I don't know. I think they're going to be conservative. Like when it comes to push comes to shove. I mean, he's led the league in the least amount of pass attempts over the last 3 years. Sirianni, he's really conscientious of turnovers. They let Fangio with the defense is one of the tops. I don't know. I think Barkley's going to have a comeback year. Maybe not like 2 years ago, but I think he's going to be much better this year. I mean, it looks like they're going to throw to him more than they have the last couple years. They're going to design. He made a great touchdown catch in that one scrimmage, whatever. And to be honest with you, the Eagles, they have a great offensive line, but they lost. They lost your boy Beckham. He was 1 year after the Super Bowl year, and I think that really, besides the injuries, that affected the running game. They're a better run blocking team than a pass blocking team. So that's why I like. I said about Smith, I was a little. I didn't like him as a 2nd round pick. He was going in the OCs pretty much early on. I like him. I told Joe today. I like him as a 3rd. I like him as my wide receiver 3 on my teams. I'll take in the 3rd round. I think the player's great. I think everybody thinks with with Brown leaving, that he's just going to pick up that many. He'll be a 1,500-yard receiver. I don't know. Goddard was touchdown dependent. I mean, this offense is, it's throw to a target. It's throw to a spot, and that's not Hurts' strength. But if that's the case, and he's going to try it, I mean, Goddard should be effective. They didn't use the middle of the field at all. They were too predictable the last couple years. They got by, without the running game, they were really neutralized. I mean, basically the offense was impotent, really, especially in the playoffs.
Now, let me ask you two questions. Who's your highest owned Eagle right now in fantasy?
My highest owned Eagles, probably Goddard. But that's as a second tight. My highest owned Eagles actually Wicks, not even close. 60. So I got a ton of Wicks, but I'm averaging 14th round with them.
Do you think Wicks is going to have
I think Wicks can pay off because he's free.
Yeah.
Like Joey said, I mean, if you watch that game in Thanksgiving against the Lions, when he got a chance, he's got the ability, and I think he'll be, the red zone guy. Very possibly he could carve a role that's going to pay off big time as a wide receiver 4, maybe a flex or even a 3. And you got nothing to lose. You just cut, if he doesn't pan out, would you lose?
All right, 2 more questions, then we'll get you out of here. What Eagle are you definitely don't want no part of this year?
I'm not taking any. Lemon fits his name. He's going to be a lemon this year. This season, he's going to be a lemon.
Okay.
There's no, guys are taking him. They take him. It's a sexy name. That's what they do. You see in the OC.
He's been good lately, though. I mean, I saw a couple of times he was going like 11th, 12th round, which was nice.
Yeah,
Not anymore, though.
I've seen him. I haven't seen him. I've seen him going what?
That was a little while ago.
Yeah.
All right, and do you think there's a chance with AJ Brown gone?
He went round 7 yesterday.
Yeah, he's bumping back up because he's
that's ridiculous.
Do you think there's a chance with AJ Brown gone that Hurts has like a career year like Mahomes did kind of when Tyreek left that one year? Or like he's absolutely fine like when Tyreek left and Mahomes had that big year. Do you think there's a chance for that or no?
I mean, the only way Hurts, I mean, I don't know how much they're going to throw the ball real. I'm hoping they do. Is Hurts, I mean, look what I'm not saying the scrimmages mean a lot, but he's thrown a lot. He's thrown as many, same amount of touchdowns as the same amount of interceptions. That ain't too good. He's a one-read guy. Doesn't really see the field like he should. But you know what? If Hurts can get his running game, if he can get it up to maybe over 700 yards rushing, to have that threat of the run, that'll open things up for the offense. And hopefully they'll get things going for Barkley. Because I think Smith's got all the talent in the world to be a 1,500-yard receiver, 10 touchdown guy.
Yeah,
he's got that ability. He's got that talent. But
your concern is Hurts holding him back, basically, right?
I mean, it's the offense. This guy's going to be much more progressive, in their thinking. I mean, much more less predictable. It looks like, but can he execute? Let's hope he can.
Yeah,
I've got. I think he's a value, and I've gotten him in the 10th round. I mean, if you're waiting on quarterback, I mean, that's taking him in the 10th round. For fantasy wise, he's always been solid. You got the tush push. You still got the tush push going. That gives you those cheap touchdowns.
AJ Brown had basically 2 1,500-yard seasons, 111 touchdown, 1-7. So. Yeah, I mean, I think this is in the cards for DeVonta to get to, like you said, 50.
I'm hoping. I caught up with him. I mean, I got I just.
All right. Well,
I got 18%, Smith. I caught up with him.
Nice.
But he's my, like I said, in my builds, he's my wide receiver 3.
All right. Well,
all right.
You got about 5 minutes, man. Good luck on that OC tonight. Let us know how the room is. Send us your build later. Send us the draft board. Let us know if anybody.
If you guys go overtime, maybe I'll run it back for the way. You never know. You guys could have a marathon here.
No, we'll be
Josh
at it.
drank a lot of coffee tonight.
We'll be at it.
I've been up. I'm all jacked up on coffee. I've been drinking since 4 o'clock this morning.
Steve, you're not doing a night out today, are you?
Nah, I haven't looked at anything yet.
No night out?
Nah, I'm probably not doing anything.
Nobody streams a night out better than you, Steve.
Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate
All right,
you
guys.
as well.
I'll see you,
Mike.
Have a good one, brother.
See you.
Thanks for the breakdown. Thanks for coming in
You got
today.
it.
All right, guys. Let's finish up. Going over our teams. Then we'll get into. We'll talk about the Eagles first as well. But Josh, you can go with your squad real quick.
So yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've picked in the middle of the draft with one of these. I figured it was going to be a hard build coming into it, so I got Amon-Ra, which I was hoping to. On the way back, I wanted a solid running back, and I would have taken Barkley, Hampton, or Walker. Barkley was taken. Hampton was the next one on my list, so went with him. Nabers for the upside because I figured I could get Dart to pair up with him. Tyler Warren was there. Felt like that was a little bit of an edge at tight end. So as soon as I picked him, I started thinking about when and where I was going to get Daniel Jones. I do feel like I almost think you have to have one stack in this or one combo. If it's just a quarterback and a wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, you need that hookup. I think that it helps, and especially with the with the factor of guys staying healthy and you're starting 14 players every single week. So when you have that correlation, I think that helps to pay off for when you have another player that might be hurt. Kind of started risking it, looking at the board, looking at the teams that had 2 quarterbacks, because there's absolutely zero. I don't even know if it'll let you click on a third quarterback, but there's no benefit because you can only have 2 on your team. So I kind of started playing the numbers. I went very boring at wide receiver with Pittman, but I figure, hey, that's a guy that 14, 15 points a week in that offense. Josh Downs was there. Obviously, that's my upside guy with Daniel Jones. Coker was on down the board, but I was trying to scroll for guys that I thought could be in a decent enough offense just to put up solid points every week. Then I grabbed Daniel Jones. I didn't want to push it any farther. There was, I think, still 3 teams left on the board with just 1 quarterback, so I went ahead and snagged him. Algier was glaring at me for a couple rounds, so between the touchdowns and then with Love already being hurt, there's, maybe it comes back and bites me and Algier's getting, 2 points a week in the middle of the season. I don't know, but I figured that one was worth a shot. He is a bigger back, and I kind of like the bigger backs in this format. Then the freaking kickers go off the board. I still got the Jaguars kicker. I'm perfectly fine with that. He's got a big leg. I was debating between the Saints D and Booty, and I forgot who was sitting on the left-hand side of the board there. And I went with the Saints D. Pete Nova's got me bought in on the Saints D on any of these pick it and forget it. So I went with them, and then of course it gets Dan's turn, and he snags Booty from me. So I went with Denzel Boston on my last one. Just he's a big receiver, big tough receiver. I feel like he's a guy that those quarterbacks, they're not going to be the most accurate. Hopefully Shadur's, I can't even believe I'm saying that, but hopefully Shadur's playing by like week 3, and Boston he'll have some games where he scores points.
Yeah, I mean, the one knock on your team would be your quarterbacks. Daniel Jones never stays healthy, and Dart obviously has his concussion issues. So we'll see if they can be true gladiators and be out there every single week for you.
It's not the sexiest team that I've built in this competition. That's for sure.
You try to like build teams where guys are healthy, but at some point you're just taking the best picks on the board.
Yeah.
You took Nabers, you got to go with Dart there pretty much. I mean, so.
Yeah, I mean the Warren and Downs and Jones stack, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a solid team, man. Joey, what about your squad, brother?
Wide receiver heavy, quarterbacks are solid. Light on the running backs, but Brooks, Coleman, Lloyd, Josh Jacobs may be suspended a few games, so I may get some points out of him. Kicking team's good. Defense all right. Like I always tell everybody, I've been on Wicks from day one. If I tell the public to draft him, I'm going to draft him. You know, we get on these shows, we talk about him, I'm going to draft him as much as I can. But it's a wide receiver heavy team. Quarterbacks are built pretty solid. So we'll see what happens. I've never went this heavy in wide receivers. That's my fourth one. I never went that heavy. Which I was going Josh Allen to Jamar Chase came. And I thought I might have a chance to get Burrow on the way back, but Team 9 broke out.
Yeah, I would say with your team, you know, your receivers are so solid that they can kind of overcome your running backs kind of being, you know, if they're in 50-50 roles all year, you know, can kind of overcome that. Especially, you know, so you got a lot of strong receivers there.
Yeah, I actually like this build, really. I mean, I'm not with that heavy, but I like it.
I like the Odunze pick. I think Odunze, you get him as your fifth receiver there. That's pretty solid.
I like Odunze. He's really solid wide receiver. I mean,
yeah.
So I like your team also. I like Josh's team and yours.
Yeah, I mean, I get Allen. You know, he never misses games. Kenny Walker, you never know. I mean, he's not a true gladiator because the guy gets hurt pretty much every single year. Last year, he stayed healthy because the Seahawks kind of held him back, and they only really put him in a full-time role because they were forced to. And obviously, he shined. He won Super Bowl MVP, but he's already got a freaking swollen foot because his cleat was too small. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. But he's supposed to be fine. The rest of the team, T. Higgins, you know, he gets hurt a lot, but obviously if he could ever play 17 games, but he's not really a true gladiator. Tucker Kraft's coming back from a major injury. Pierce is also coming back too. So I got some injury risk on this team as well, but I like all my picks pretty much. So we'll see what happens. You know, maybe we'll knock out one more of these next week when we talk about the AFC East. We'll get Joe in that one, so we can talk about the Patriots, and then we get them in the draft as well. Do you guys see anything that's kind of off kilter here? I don't really notice anything too crazy, but you guys pick up on anything?
I mean, I think that Team 2 is just garbage. I mean, who freaking takes Trevor Lawrence and then Parker Washington? This guy has dogged Parker Washington for the last 6 months, and now all of a sudden he starts.
Well, he's like, oh, yeah, it's cheap.
Snagging him up.
It's a cheap entry. I'll get Parker in this one.
Yeah. I was going to go. I was really looking at Godwin Mayfield, and I didn't know which one to pick first. And I talked myself into Michael Pittman, and he freaking took Chris Godwin and Baker on that turn. This is one competition where the turns is where it's at, is the place to be. I really feel like that's being out floating in the middle is very difficult.
Hey, it would be kind of cool to take an overall one in this tournament, right? You know, win the Gladiator. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. No, Dan drafted a solid team. I mean, I like your guys' 3 teams way better than mine. Mine's just unique and different enough that who knows, you might catch lightning in a bottle.
I like all your picks. I think the only thing that's risky is just, Daniel
there's some risk there.
Daniel Jones might just hurt you because he can never finish the season. So that's the only thing,
But no, I like Dan's team, and he's got upside. I mean,
I like Dan's team
and I can't even say that this is a weak player, but is his weakest player Jacoby Myers maybe? Yeah. Kayshon Boutte now as the number 2 in the Texans offense. So none of us really know what Boutte's ceiling is going to be, or I guess his floor for that fact. But you got to think that he's going to be in a really good good spot with as well as he was playing in New England. But yeah, no, great team, Dan.
Yeah, he got a good team.
You could tell Dan was definitely trying to switch things up. He went Henry, in the second round. He would never do that in OC or prime time, I don't think, right? So
yeah, this is just such a different. It's just such a different mentality from those. I think. I mean, I think going with two big backs to start off with might be really smart. And then who cares if you take a tight end with your third pick, because you're getting one of the studs. So he gets Garrett Wilson, the target hog, and then grabs Loveland, and that's he's off to the races with his first four.
And Henry is a true gladiator, that's for sure. I mean, that's the guy that's the guy you want in the ring with you.
But if anybody can change that, it's Dan. He can totally jinx Derrick Henry.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not for the big dog. Again, I think all Dan jinxes are being broken this year.
I hope so.
On Fantasy Savage.
But I will say, when that news came out yesterday about Jamar Chase, I was like, it's over. Like, it's freaking over already. Like, he's saying Burrow's throwing 56 touchdowns. That ain't happening with Jamar Chase out for the season. Oh, man.
Our buddy Steve G's in the chat.
Where's he at? Oh yeah. I didn't even notice him. Lloyd maybe started for a while. Steve G, I thought he'd be getting ready for that huge draft on Friday. All the best, man. Wishing you luck. If you want to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I think Steve must have a little inside scoop on the Josh Jacobs situation. He's been slowly but surely been seeing Lloyd go a little earlier in drafts over the last 3 weeks, but that's going to be an interesting situation. I don't think that anything happens with Jacob this year. I think he plays.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the suspension is going to be. I have no idea. We'll see. I know Steve G's drafted Marshall and Lloyd about 10,000 times. That was a guy that I picked up like 19,000 times last year, and I was holding him and I was waiting for him to pop up. Last couple of years, just never did anything. And I draft him, but I mean the way Steve and those guys have been going after him is just absolutely relentless. They've absolutely steamed him up in these drafts. So people are like, why is Marshall and Lloyd going so high? That's pretty much the reason. And if you think about the logic, I mean, it makes sense with Jacobs getting older. Lloyd, I always liked Lloyd's profile coming out of USC. The guy's just between him and Kendra Miller. I mean, we just never know when these guys are going to ever get on the field. But all systems go so far for Lloyd. It's been solid. All right, let's get into the divisions now, real quick.
Oh, it's Duke steamed him up. My bad, Steve.
I can't wait to see
we'll see the draft scene Friday night.
Hey man, have a safe flight. All the best.
I can't wait to see what Steve G and Nelson and Hubbard puts together Friday. It'd be unreal. It'd be a good team. I know they'll put together a monster.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel too. I think Steve's going to be going to Vegas, and he's coming back to New York. Then are you going back to Vegas again after that for more drafts? That's a lot, man. But enjoy.
Oh, there it is. It's breaking news.
Oh.
It's breaking news. Monday night, Steve's going to pop on Sin City with us for a minute.
Oh, that's great.
I reached out to him earlier. I would want to get a full report on the War Room Cabanas. That's at Stadium Swim. So we'll see how it'll be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch it. It's cool to get to watch it, and then through the live streams and the drafting and the chats and all the Twitter trash talk and everything. It's like we've all kind of everybody's kind of got to know each other a little better, and so even though I've never personally met you, Steve, like it's cool to get to see you and Vaccaro and Nelson and Hubbard out there, and Santos and Chad as well. So we're all it's kind of like the SEC. We're all pulling for our NFFC boys.
That's right. That's right.
100%.
Absolutely.
Are they going to be interviewing the guys after the draft? I mean, you're going to have them on Monday, which is going to be cool. So
Well, he just said that he's going to see if he could. He may be able to get Nelson and Hubbard to pop on with us. If that happens, me and Dan will go on mute, and we'll sit back, and Steve will let you and Nelson and Hubbard just have the floor. That'd be the best way to hear you guys review the board. But no, good luck to all you guys. Safe travels. Looking forward to Friday night for sure.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a great time. Again, I think it's going to catapult fantasy football into a different hemisphere after this draft. I really do. So, you guys are the pioneers, the 100K. I mean, I think it's going to blow up. I think we're going to see more and more people that want to get into this next year. So there might be multiples of these. We'll see, though. It's got to be all set in stone and set up, but. All the best, man. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you. Josh will talk to you Monday. I'll see you in New York also.
I'll hit you up Monday.
I'm flying out to New York next Thursday, so I'll see you out there, buddy, on Friday.
I know Steve G. He also was telling me about doing the Kentucky State Championship, so I'm gonna go. I'll be in Louisville
going there this weekend, right, Joey?
Friday, and then I draft Saturday morning.
Is that your first time out there?
Yeah.
Nice, man. That's gonna be cool.
Steve G. sort of talked me into it a little bit when he was talking about it. Which I drafted in it a long time ago, but I've never been there live.
How far away from you?
Huh?
How far away from it is it?
I'm 2 hours from Lexington, and it's 70 miles to Louisville. About 3 hours and 15 minutes, probably. It's about 20 minutes. You cross over in Indiana, where do you go to?
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna just pop in for the day and then come back?
I'm gonna stay all day Friday. I'm gonna get there early Friday, and I'm gonna draft that morning. Then after that, I'm gonna just come on back to the house.
Okay.
Might draft the NFFC that Saturday night at the house.
How many drafts you doing out there?
I'm just gonna do the one. I just do the one.
All right, well,
I'm gonna watch them on
get
Friday.
your report too, man. When you come back from that, we'll definitely want to hear about your experience out there as well.
Hey, Joey, I think you just got propositioned.
That's fine. Whatever he wants me to do, I'll do them.
All right, yeah, hook it up. All right. Let's see. Let's get into divisions now, and let's go with the Eagles real quick. We'll try to blow through this pretty quick, but Mike kind of touched on the Eagles. I think again, I was looking at DeVonta Smith. I always felt like he could be a number one receiver. I haven't drafted enough of him. I'm going to start moving him ahead of guys like Olave, who I've been taking. So I'm more into DeVonta. I kind of feel like he could have a special year. We looked at A.J. Brown's numbers, the 1,500-yard years. Now, maybe he gets 13, 14, but I think, 10 touchdowns, I really feel like he could fill that number one role. Hurts throws a nice deep ball. I mean, sometimes he's going to overthrow you, but DeVonta will go up. He'll go get it. Wicks is interesting. He's going to play on the outside. Lemon's going to kind of play in the slot, 3 wide receiver sets. Lemon is back at practice. I like Lemon's talents a lot. He kind of reminds me of, he plays with the ferociousness of a Puka and a Cooper Kupp, and he's got a little bit of a Monra. Now he's a little bit late to the game. The injuries are a concern, but I'm going to go back to him. I was drafting him early, then I laid off of him. I'm going to start going back to him a little bit again. I got to get some more Wicks. I think Joey's spot on with that call. He's been talking about him since the freaking the Thanksgiving last year when he blew up. I think even before that he was talking about him. And I always liked Wicks too, even his rookie year coming out of Virginia. I always kind of liked him. It's just that, he's had the drops and he was always kind of buried there, and Love's getting hurt, and he just kind of never really shined through. But as a late flyer, in these drafts, I think he's a good sound pick. Dallas Goedert, I think he's a great value at tight end. Every time I click on him in drafts, I feel really good about it. Is Saquon going to have a rebound year? That is the question. I think, it's kind of a 50-50 thing. He's an older back, but I definitely feel like he's going to have a better year than last year. And then, Hurts, he doesn't seem like he runs as much. He seems like he got a lot slower too. So I don't know. Like he lost some explosiveness. I don't know if he's just had some injuries and he just doesn't want to get hurt anymore. So maybe that's going to lead to him kind of throwing the ball a little bit more. Maybe more dump offs to Barkley as well. And then the big thing with Tank Bigsby is everybody's really in on him, but I feel like if Barkley gets hurt, I think Will Shipley's going to be in the mix too. So maybe some of these other guys too. Maybe Dameon Pierce. I mean, we saw Carson Steele in the preseason have a freaking sick hurdle. I mean, you never know. Some of these other guys could mix in. So I wouldn't just assume Tank Bigsby would be like the sole guy there. I'm not too crazy. I think everybody's been kind of waiting on Tank Bigsby. He never really done anything. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Anything sticks out to you about the Eagles? Anything you disagree with what I said? Josh, you go first.
I worry about. I mean, DeVonta Smith is plenty talented. I worry about him in that offense being able to get to the 1,500-yard point. But I mean, he should still have a great season if he stays healthy. I think it's gonna come down to Wicks in his hands. Like, I mean, I think the opportunities are going to be there for him. He's going to fill that role nicely. He's got to catch the ball. I mean, we've all had fun drafting him and seeing him steam up the boards. Hear good things about him in camp. And now when it comes, we've kind of reached that point where it's like information overload, and we're all sick of looking at Twitter and seeing this guy did this in these 3 games under these 5 situations. But did you see what this guy did? And it's like, all right, I'm just done with the noise. Like, let's get the season started. Let's get these last 2 weeks of drafts in and get down the road. The only thing I'll say is, when Gainwell left town for Pittsburgh, Shipley was the man that was in line to back up Barkley, and the Eagles went and got Tank Bigsby. So I don't know. And I think Shipley had the backup role last year, but got hurt for a minute. So I don't know if that kind of changed things. But I think Bigsby's in the lead there to be the man. Shipley can definitely if something, God forbid, was to happen to Barkley, I don't think it's 100% Bigsby, but I don't know that Shipley would be fantasy relevant. I mean, Mekhi Lemon's got the upside. We'll see what he can do. I'm with Gamberg on that. I think that he's probably a next year guy. Wait and see.
I don't know why that is, though. I mean, he's a first-round pick. I mean, I don't see why. I mean, it's just because the injury. What's the? It's just I don't get it.
Really. I don't know. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on him though. I mean, I saw the way that he handled himself in a couple interviews and
you didn't really like.
I think it was the combine. Like, I don't know. He just gives me the vibes that he could be a head case. He may show up week 1 and just start showing out. I don't know. He may bounce back from this little bit of an injury or whatever it is and be fine. But I guess if I had 5 or 6 times as many teams as I've got, we might draft him a few times. But with what we've got, we've just pretty much been a full fade on him this year.
You hit on some guys, you're going to be out on some guys. And it kind of feels like once you're out on certain guys, you kind of keep up with that theme, right? It's kind of hard to go back to a guy that you're out on later on.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you do it, but
it's hard. It's hard to for me with a rookie, if there's something that I just can't get past and I'm out on him, it's hard for me before seeing him play in a game to come back around to him and be like, oh yeah, now I'm all in. I'm going to try to grab him.
Yeah. The vibes are off for you. All right, Joey, what do you think, man? We know you love Wicks. That's your guy this year. But anything else? How do you feel about Hurts? How do you feel about Barkley this year? What about DeVonta being a
I
true
mean,
number one?
Barkley's gonna be fine. Hurts, he might not be a real life quarterback, but does any of us care on this screen? No. As long as he performs for fantasy, that's all we worry about. And
I mean, he did win a Super Bowl.
that's right. That's what I'm saying. He's good. I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, I don't think he's horrible, but as long as he's giving you the rushing numbers, and if y'all go back and look, I don't know how much more Smith can do. I mean, it's out there because if you look at AJ Brown and Devontae Smith's numbers, they was almost identical last year. If you look at their numbers for last year, they're almost identical. I don't know how much more he can get of that. And when you look at 2 and 3 on the depth, on the chart for wide receivers, all you have to say is Howie Roseman. That's good enough for me. I mean, I think Malachi Lemon will be probably a second half of the year. He could be really good. He could be one of them players down the stretch. But I think Wicks is just when I started looking at Wicks, he's the most physically wide receiver in the room. He's the biggest. I started Googling every one of them. I said he's bigger than Hollywood. He's bigger than Lemon. He's bigger than Smith. Outside of Goddard and the pass catchers and the tight end room. But this is his chance to prove that he can be good. And as a Buffalo Bill fan, I wanted him there. I said, I should go get him. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't know. We'll have to see what this offense does. They may want to stick to the run. I mean, Bigsby and Shipley both could be halfway decent. If Barkley gets hurt. Shipley's been there the longest. Well, he's been in there a little bit longer. He knows the system. Well, I don't think they'll say know the system because they change OCs all the time, don't they? Now that's
Sean Mannion's in now this year.
That's how come I like Wicks too. They got he came from Green Bay, so they'll use him. I'm hoping that he gets about. I love seeing him get 800-900 yards, 8-9 touchdowns. I mean, that'd be a real good year, especially where I've been taking him at. I took him earlier than sometimes, but I had him a lot late. I probably got 70%. So we'll see. We'll see.
What do you feel about Barkley? You think, under Mannion, the Mannion comes over from Green Bay. This is his first time as being an OC. So, a little bit of a LaFleur influence. So what do you think about Barkley? Do you feel comfortable taking him in the second round, or you just feel like, you'd rather go receiver there for the most part?
For me, I'm going receiver, but I don't have a problem. If I was going to take the running back, I'd take Barkley. It's a good offense. And, let's say you're playing Dallas. You want to put up some points. I mean, they may be playing from behind, to keep up. So, Commanders a little bit better. The Giants. I mean, it's a good fantasy division. So, I like Barkley where he goes. I think it's a good price where he goes.
Yeah, and Mike was saying they're a better run blocking line than pass blocking. They are still highly ranked. They still got Mariota, they got Dickerson, Lane Johnson, so they got a lot of the same guys. So that's always been Hurts has been in the best situation, the best offensive line, one of the best running backs. AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith. He's got a Heisman Trophy winner. What a situation for Hurts. So yeah, Howie Roseman did a hell of a job. He did take Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, but I'm not going to give him any shit for that because that was him, right? He was the one that took Reagor over Justin Jefferson, right?
Oh, I don't. That's a good question.
So
Gamberg probably knows that.
Huh?
Gamberg probably knows.
Yeah, I'm not even going to give him any shit because I loved Jalen Reagor actually too. So I kind of was with him on that pick. So. But I mean, that was obviously a big miss there. But you learn your lessons, you adjust, you get better. So that was like what, 4 or 5 years ago. So, all right, let's move to the next team in the NFC East. It will be the New York Giants, and Jaxson Dart, second season. We all know about the injury concerns. Cam Skattebo, same thing. There was a report today that he almost like took out the defender's legs, and there was a little bit of a fight, and then one of the offensive lines came to his defense, saying that they're trying to start shit. One of the reporters was trying to start shit, and then people were bashing the reporter. So a little something, just regular camp BS to me.
I don't know. I don't remember too many times that the reporters were getting into it.
No, not the reporter. The reporter was basically smashing. He was going after Cam in one of the reports, and then one of the linemen on the Giants, I think it was Jermaine Ilamuna, the right tackle. He's like, stop spreading these BS narratives about Cam Skattebo.
Cam got they threw a personal foul flag on him after the scrimmage was over. And then Harbaugh's like, yeah, his energy's infectious. And I'm like, oh, man.
Well, then he said you don't want it to be infectious the other way, like an infectious.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was that a true quote? He said that? That's crazy.
From what I understand it was. I forget where I saw it, but it was a credible source. So
so I think he's just trying, obviously Cam, he's nuts. Him and Dart are like the two frat guys there, and they're wild, man. So, and then what's gonna happen with Tyrone Tracy? He misses that block, he almost gets Dart killed, and then he fumbles in the preseason, and then they bring in Najee Harris into the building. That was actually before the fumble. I think they brought him into the building. It was after that block. So I don't know. Is Tyrone Tracy a guy you guys are still clicking on? Nabers, I feel like he was going in the 4th round. I still like taking him in the 2nd. And then Isaiah Likely. I know Theo Johnson's there. Maybe he's a little bit of a thorn, but I've liked Likely so many times. I've been drafting him ever since he was a rookie. He's been buried behind Andrews, so how could I not go after him now that he's got a great opportunity? And it's not like any of these other receivers really stick out to I do like Malachi Fields maybe at some point. Slayton is he's been there. He hasn't done anything. Mooney's, he's always hurt. I don't really expect him to do much. You got Beckham in the building, but I think he's just more, he's just like more of a mentor at this point. So I feel like Fields, if anybody emerges at that second receiver, it's going to be Likely, and then maybe Fields behind him. But Joey, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Giants? And how,
it's an interesting team, to see, the running back room is pretty, Harris, he may be involved more than what we think because of the fumbles from Tyrone Tracy, or he could be traded or, later on. But Dart's got all the talent in the world as long as he stays upright. At least they got Winston to come in and sling it for us. And Nabers just gives this team a lot different look if he's healthy. Him and going to Likely, he's probably your number 2 option in the passing game. And we'll see who emerges out of the other wide receivers, which I've been drafting Malachi Fields for a long time. And I think he's a real good red zone wide receiver. He might not have a lot of catches in the season, but he could flirt with 7 or 8 touchdowns probably from where we draft him at. But like I said, the key to it, if they can keep Dart upright, it's a good little team. I think they'll be all right. That's a good division, like we said a while ago. It's a good division but Skattebo, he's as long as he's healthy, do you think the offensive run around, should go between him and Nabers, wouldn't you think, and maybe Likely?
Yeah, I think it's Nabers and Likely there. And then, Skattebo coming out of the backfield, he's going to catch a bunch of passes. I don't really, I don't think Najee's too much of a threat, but, I kind of liked going in on Najee last year with Hampton there. And then
right.
He freaking hurt his eye, and then he came back from the eye thing, and he tore his Achilles. So that never really worked out. But, it sounds like Najee's kind of on a mission. I feel like he might be, I really think he might jump over Tracy, or they could have kind of just mixed all 3 of those guys in, too.
Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
That's all right. Go ahead.
One key thing that we all may be missing here, and It just come to me, sitting here talking about this. Who sat and watched him for years? Harbaugh versus Tomlin and Najee Harris. He knows what Najee is. So he might be more involved in what we think. I mean, I never thought about that to just while we're sitting here talking about him, but
Brother had him last year, so
we're Pitts, right. Like I said, we're Pittsburgh and Baltimore had all them games, so
yeah.
Who's
Harbaugh
the OC for the Giants?
OC for the Giants is
It's Roman, isn't it?
Yeah, Greg Roman.
Oh yeah,
right. Greg Roman was in San Diego or with the Chargers last year, wasn't he?
Yep.
What I mean.
Well, actually, Roman's the assistant. Nagy's the OC. But let's just
if they know what's good for him, I don't know which one's calling the plays, but
I mean, hey man, I kind of liked Nagy that one year when the Bears went to the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky. Remember they almost won that playoff game? I think they just missed a field goal at the end. They actually had a pretty good offense, I thought, that year with Mitch. I mean, he kind of made Mitch Trubisky play pretty well that year. Mitch Trubisky's never done anything since, so he gets a lot of shit, Nagy, but maybe he's a little bit better than who knows? I mean, everybody was right about Matt Canada that one year. Remember how everybody bashed Matt Canada, the Steelers offensive coordinator, and he was definitely horrible.
Be right back, guy.
I think they're, with Skattebo, the way that he plays, maybe they just saw a golden opportunity to get Najee, and he's a good insurance policy. And as the season goes on, Najee's just going to get more and more healthy from his injury last year, which I think he's technically at 100%. But that could be a good let's go, baby. Good insurance policy if something happens to Skattebo.
What happened to Joey?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay.
He must.
Steve, man.
I don't know. Maybe he had to go get an iced coffee and some Newports. No, I don't know.
I don't know how you still smoke Newports, man. I mean, geez.
I don't know, man.
At least, bring out the American spirits at this point.
Oh, shoot.
Man, Newports, man. I used to smoke those when I was young, man. I don't think I could ever smoke those now. But hey, I was looking forward to actually meeting Matt in New York, but I don't think he's coming out there. I definitely would have smoked a Newport from outside.
So Steve G said his parting take is Najee's going to start when Scat goes down.
Yeah, that's
by week 9 or 19.
That's the narrative there. Oh,
10. By week 9 or 10, Scat will go down.
Got to get a little unique with the, I'm going to go the other way in the Scat. I'm in on him. But yeah, he does play like a wild man, and Najee could have a little bit of a, redemption year for sure after what happened to him last year. So I don't hate that take. I actually don't mind drafting Najee at this point either. Later in these drafts, I think he's a decent value.
It's a good dart throw, but you're getting him in round 17, 18, 19, and then you're having to sit on him. And then, if he's not really getting involved, how long can you sit on him before you got to move to get somebody else?
Yeah, you're going to have to wait and see what he does early in the year and see what kind of role he has over Tracy. And then you kind of go by that. I want to play this real quick from Harbaugh. Put the volume up.
Out there is that when Scat touches the ball, there's just like a different energy out there. Is that energy infectious for the whole team?
Well, Scott's great. He does bring a lot of energy. But he did get a 15-yard penalty at the end of practice. Did you notice that? So that's not infectious. Well, it is infectious actually. Infectious in the bad way, right? Like infectious disease type of thing. You don't want that. So we want it to be directed in the positive way.
He's like Vontez Burfict, but the running back.
There's just like a different energy out there. Is that energy infectious for the whole team?
Let me cut that off. Bring the board back up. Yeah, so I don't know, man. The Giants. I think it really all comes down to if they could stay healthy. If Nabers could stay healthy. But if the good thing about the Giants, right, is if Dart goes down, you got J-Mo backing him up. So, I mean, that's the best backup. So that gives you nice security, similar to the Bengals. If Burrow goes down, we saw what Flacco did last year to elevate all those guys. I mean, it was ugly when Browning was in there, right? Those first couple weeks. And then they bring in Flacco, and he saves the day. He elevated Chase Brown back and Higgins, and I mean, he was performing.
This is supposed to be the NFC East. Quit reminding these guys what Flacco did for Chase Brown. We don't need Chase Brown going any earlier than he already is.
Yeah, you're right, man. But I mean, it just J-Mo backing up these guys. Imagine J-Mo with Nabers. That would just be insane. I mean, he would probably get like 23 targets a game.
The Giants are going to be fun. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I don't know how how many wins they're going to have, but I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. I mean, Dart and Skattebo was they were fun to watch last year when they were both on the field. So we throw Nabers in there, and if Likely can become a part of it, and he's not just a guy out there running routes like he was in Baltimore, then it'll be interesting TV.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I like investing into the Giants offense. I got to get me some more Isaiah Likely, though. I'm glad that I don't have any shares of Tyrone Tracy, and I want to start getting a little bit of Najee going forward.
You can't. I don't know if you can get too bent on Tracy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you go overboard getting him, but you probably still grab him if he's for the right price. He's probably worth grabbing. But,
yeah. It's just one of those guys that I don't draft, and at this point, I think I just rather would have Najee. But we'll see. We'll see how that backfield plays out. By the way, the Giants also have Brian Callahan, who was the head coach of the Titans last year. So they have a bunch of guys, Nagy, Callahan, Greg Roman, a mix of different guys there on the offensive staff there.
What's Callahan coaching there? Is he the quarterback coach?
Quarterback coach, yep. Pass game coordinator, quarterback coach.
That's where he needs to be. He don't need to be a head coach. That's where he belongs.
He didn't do a good job.
He's good in that role or in a coordinator role.
Yeah, that was a smart move by the Titans moving on from him. All right, Washington Commanders, they bring in new OC David Blau. They get rid of Cliff Kingsbury, who I think he's on another staff. I thought he was going to do another sabbatical in Thailand, but he's on another staff somewhere in the NFL. And, that's kind of the thing with Cliff Kingsbury. His offenses kind of look good for a year, and then they just get real repetitive and, predictable. And, obviously last year was a tough year for the Commanders with all the injuries and Jayden Daniels. But I don't know, you just feel like there's more in the bag with Daniels rather than all these little dump offs and quick hitters and, that air raid offense. So David Blau comes to the building, former quarterback. He's kind of famous for playing that Thanksgiving game. Remember when he filled in for Stafford and like the first play of the game, he threw a bomb to Kenny Galladay. That's kind of what he's famous for. But, this is his first job now. He was a backup there, an assistant. So he's stepping up into the ranks. It's supposed to be a lot more play action, under center. Wes Walker is also on this staff. Anthony Lynn, as well as a running backs coach. Remember him as the Chargers coach years ago. So freaking Dan Quinn. I think he's a solid head coach. He went to the Super Bowl with the Falcons that one year. It all kind of fell apart for him. We all remember the 28-3 game. But he's been in the league for a while. He's a good defensive coordinator. I think he does a pretty good job. The question is what's Jayden Daniels going to do here? Coming back from a injury-riddled season. He's got the injury tag on him now. People are getting on him because of his mom and all this stuff and the LSU thing. He doesn't Doesn't he doesn't want him to retire. He wants him to retire his numbers, so people want him for that. So I don't know. I feel like their offensive line. There was a report today that it looks absolutely horrible. They lose Laramie Tunzel a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. I don't know what the vibes are in Washington right now. Terry McLaurin, I don't know. I only have him in one league. He's a little bit older now. He's kind of a deep threat. Is he as explosive as he used to be? They bring in Diggs, another older receiver. They bring in Chig Okonkwo, who's kind of like a guy you kind of have to just dump it off to, like a lot of delayed routes. And, he gets ahead of steam. He could break some tackles. The running back is kind of suspect. So I don't know, guys. How do you feel about this offense? I feel like it could maybe kind of be kind of sour once again.
I like to run them back room, honestly. I think Katron Allen is good. I'm starting to warm up the Bill a little bit. Only one that's really got the role was cemented, I think, is Rashad White. I mean, once he's healthy and maybe in the passing game. Shout out to Steve G again. He drafted a lot of Diggs, late in some drafts. And, Antonio Williams is kind of interesting too. But I kind of like the running back room. Same thing what we said a while ago about Dart. It just depends on if Daniels can stay upright. That would be key. But it's a pretty good offense. I don't know if Diggs probably hurt Okonkwo a little bit, but because a lot of people was getting him as a late tight end, and I understood it. He had an opportunity there, and he still probably mixed in. But I do like to run him back room.
Yeah, I mean, I like Katron Allen too. He's the only healthy back too. I was drafting him early, and then I went away from him. Now I'm getting back into him. But they still have some time between Rashad White and JCM to get back. I think Okonkwo is hurt by Diggs because Diggs is going to operate underneath. That's what he's going to do for the most part. A lot of quick hitters, and that's kind of like what Okonkwo needs to do. He's not. I mean, unless they kind of try to get Okonkwo down the field a little bit more, like on crossing routes and maybe some corner routes and stuff like that. I mean, he's got the speed to get down the field. I just think his style is more just kind of like dump it off to him and let him kind of create, kind of like a Jonnu type. I don't know, Josh, what do you think, man? How do you feel about the Commanders' offense here? And here's the quote, by the way, from their reporter. This is the worst I've ever seen the Commanders.
I've seen that.
Inoperable offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, they had a bad practice. Their beat reporter there is frustrated. Maybe it's been a few bad practices in a row or something. He's frustrated with it, but I don't know. They've got two older wide receivers, but McLaurin and Diggs, they're still good. They're still good. So I think Luke McCaffrey's just a guy. I've tried for a couple years to hope and pray and will him into being something of anything. And I mean, I can't even get him to be a DFS shot. So I would love to see the kid have some kind of fantasy relevance. But Antonio Williams, I mean, there's a little bit of hype there with him. So he'll be one to watch. It's just not with Antonio Williams and Katron Allen and then Jayden Daniels. I mean, I think Jayden Daniels makes the offense exciting with him back there. You got to worry about him getting hurt. But that goes with any quarterback, I guess. So he just needs to play smart. It'll help. I think it'll help him with having some veteran receivers there with McLaurin and Diggs. And it sucks that Diggs came along and took a hit on Chig's productivity, but there's going to be design plays for Chig in that offense. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like Rachaad White's going to be. It's not because Rashad's this awesome pass catching running back. It's the situation that he's in that's going to result in him getting his targets and his catches and being fantasy relevant this year. Same goes with Diggs. I mean, I think he'll fit in the offense real well. So I don't know. I'm not overly excited about the Commanders offense, but I think that we're all kind of excited about where the players are going in the drafts. We're fine with getting them where they're going at because it's not costing us a ton of capital to get those guys. So it's no big deal to take Chig on a double click with Brenton Strange. What's that hurt? You get Rachaad White as your third or fourth running back. That's not killing you. Where Diggs is going, he's your fifth wide receiver, fourth wide receiver. Terry McLaurin's still going up there high enough, depending on how your build is, to be maybe a third wide receiver. So there's Jayden Daniels. I mean, it could be a little bit criminal where Jayden Daniels is going. That seems a little unfair, but all the quarterbacks are getting pushed down. Everybody's got their opinions on who they're liking this year, and that kind of makes it a little more fun for all of us. So I don't know. They're like I said, they're not exciting, but they don't really cost us anything to draft them this year. So it's not like we're having to pay second and third round value or fourth round for Jayden Daniels, anything like that.
Yeah, good point.
What was our schedule again, Steve?
Not good. Those first 6 games.
Yeah, at the bottom here.
But that's the thing I get there to say. For our sake, we hope that they're playing from behind a whole lot. So
Yeah. Well, there's your Rashad. That's what I'm saying. There's your at Philly, at Dallas. There's some Rachaad White dump passes and stuff. Most likely. Then Seattle at home, same thing. Indy and New York will probably be good games, I guess. San Francisco, they may not even have a team that they can even put on the field by week 6, the way it's going. But they got to go out there. So,
the Cincinnati game could be up down a little bit. The Arizona game, but they got Houston out there.
They've got
Atlanta, Minnesota, and Jacksonville. I mean, 2 tough defenses there, Minnesota and Jacksonville, both on the road. Brian Flores is going to be bringing the heat. That's for sure. They got to play.
Yeah, but by that time of the year, 1 or 2 injuries on that key spots on that defense could make a huge difference.
Yeah, things change.
So
it's a long ways away. You're right. I mean, you can look at the schedule and use it as a gauge, but you don't want to just go too nuts when looking at the schedules because things do change fast. You're right. You notice there, I brought up the offensive line rankings from Established the Run. They had them ranked 11th, and after the Tunzel injury, they dropped down to 22nd. So that just shows you how much of an impact that is losing, a player like that. So we'll think, maybe they're a little bit better than advertised. Maybe they're trying to figure things out still. There's still times to, put things together. I got to see if I can get back in on JCM. I kind of liked him a little bit last year. Then he kind of, he kind of showed that he showed certain flashes. I feel like Rachaad White, he's boring as hell, but I feel like, he played with Daniels before. He's just a guy that'll get you 3-4 yards and move the pile a little bit. He's not going to break a lot of big runs, and he's a sound receiving back. So he's got nice soft hands, and he'll break some tackles. And then I do like Katron Allen coming out of Penn State, so I kind of like taking Katron Allen late. Every time I take Rachaad White, I said on X, it's like ordering meatloaf at the freaking Boston market. I don't know if Boston market's even still in existence, but it's just a very boring pick. But it's a good depth piece at running back. And then Luke McCaffrey, man. I mean, I was into the pedigree, the bloodlines. I don't know. He could still be the number 3 there. Antonio Williams is still a rookie. Treylon Burks is a guy that I loved when he came out. Looks like he's made some nice catches in practice too, but I wouldn't put it past him maybe moving up to be the third guy on this team though, at some point. Treylon Burks. So he's a name to watch as the season goes along. He's kind of been waiting in the wings. I mean, talk about a guy that gets always hurt. He's always hurt, Treylon Burks. So
I think now I don't know how it is for Treylon Burks now, but I think early on it was work ethic. The talent was there, but it was work ethic. That hurt him. I don't know. I mean, he's a dude that's got some size. I mean, he's the one that the Titans sent AJ Brown down the road to the Eagles because they believed in Treylon Burks. They went out and got him. So I don't know. Like I said, I'd love to see Luke McCaffrey step up, but I don't know if I'm believing it or not.
Wasn't Treylon Burks with Mariota in Tennessee also?
It was jeez. Dan could tell you.
I think he played a year with Levis, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he may have.
But look at Burks. He played 11 games, and then the last 2 years, 5 games and 8 games. So, I mean, he's just always hurt. He's only 26, 6'2", 225. I believe he was a first-round pick, right? So, yeah, I mean, just a name to look out for maybe as we get down the line here because of the draft pedigree. Maybe it has a little bit of a redemption tour. It's always possible, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about the Commanders. I'm not going to have a lot of Commanders this year. I think Chig is probably the guy I went after the most, and Katron. I only have a little bit of Terry. I just don't know. And I have a couple Jayden Daniels, but I'm a little bit worried about the offensive line. It's a new coordinator. There's a lot of unknowns there. So, it's not an offense I'm overly optimistic on. I think I'm a little bit less optimistic on them than I was maybe early on in the year, especially Chig too. I'm down, with Diggs there, that kind of really throws a wrench into him. All right. Let's talk about the Cowboys, America's team. And, Dak, 1 year, one good year, one bad year, 1 good year, 1 bad year. That's the trend with him. Is he going to stay healthy? That's basically it. He just gets hurt, and then the Cowboys season goes to shit. The Cowboys have had a lot of heartache, man. They haven't won a Super Bowl. They had a great run in the 90s. There's no doubt about it. But ever since then, they've had a lot of heartache, since their last Super Bowl in 1995 with Barry Switzer. I think anybody probably could have took over that team and won a Super Bowl, and they were just so freaking stacked. But, DeVonta, man, he was unbelievable value last year, and he smashed. And again, he's still a pretty good value in most of these drafts, even though we talked about him earlier going in the second round. And then CeeDee and Pickens. For me, I like Pickens better than CeeDee. I think Pickens is a better player, actually. So I like getting Pickens in the second round rather than taking CeeDee in the first. We'll see if Flournoy or can be that third guy. I think he probably has the leg up. This kid, Camden Brown, I don't know if you guys saw it in the first preseason game. He's a rookie out of Georgia State. He had some incredible catches, ridiculous. He's like 6'2", big receiver. So he's a name to watch as go on. Mingo also caught a bomb. He was a first-round pick for the Panthers. They have a lot of receivers here. Jake Ferguson, I think the NFFC trend here, amongst Dan Williamson, I think Duke have basically said, why take Jake Ferguson when you can have the same guy in Dalton Schultz 4 or 5 rounds later? And I think that kind of makes a lot of sense, especially with Jayden Higgins out the way now. So, I don't know about Jake Ferguson. I think his fantasy days of being truly relevant are kind of gone with George Pickens and Lamb kind of being the alpha there now. But Josh, what are your thoughts on the Cowboys?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, did you guys see the hurdle that Jayden Blue had towards the end of last week in camp? It was awesome. It was a very, very nice play. It wasn't Saquon Barkley spinning around backwards and hurdling the guy, but just the way that he did it, and at the kind of roughly at the line of scrimmage, it was smooth. There you go.
Oh yeah.
But
right there.
Yeah, and then never skipped a beat, hit the ground, kept going. So the kid's got talent, but that was a play that I thought was really cool. The thing about Jake Ferguson, like, don't underestimate the boring tight end. But if he's going too early in drafts for you, then yeah, whatever. Skip him and go for the value in Schultz or whatever it may be. But when Jake Ferguson's healthy, he knows where to be at in that offense. Dak knows where he's at for that release valve. So I think he was hurt last year, wasn't he? I could be wrong, but it might have been the year before.
I think he missed a couple games, maybe one game last year.
Is that it? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the new toy in Pickens, and then with Turpin and Flournoy too. Maybe there's not the real need to hit him, but you never know how defenses are going to adjust and plan for them this year. But I mean, there's you got CeeDee and George going in rounds 1 and 2. Sometimes Pickens goes to round 3. So there's a lot of paying up, expecting some big time points from those two guys. And then hearing that Javonte Williams, who I think we were getting in like round 5 a month ago. Did somebody say he went in round 2 or round 3 yesterday?
Which is, I never seen that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy early for him. But hey, I mean, if somebody likes him, that's good on them. I'm not here to judge on it. That just means somebody that I may like a little better got pushed down to me. We all know that how I feel about Flournoy, but I think it takes an injury to get him to be fantasy relevant. I do think that he's a unique situation, though. I mean, we've talked about it probably 20 times since the end of last season, but he is the one guy that's a unique spot where if you get Pickens or if you get Lamb, he's going in that 10 to 13 round range where go ahead and grab him. He's worth stashing on the bench as your wide receiver 5 or 6. Because if something would happen to where those guys go down, Dak's gonna still feed him the ball because Dak trusts him, But other than that, I mean, the exciting thing about the Cowboys is you can talk about their offense. You can even talk about how freaking good their kicker is because he scores a lot of points. So,
right.
Yeah, no, they're
going in the 13th round in a lot of these drafts. I was talking to somebody. Actually, the guy works for Football Guys, and I was like, we were talking about in our league whether we should get rid of kickers and add a flex or not. And I was like, I think you got to keep kickers. Freaking Aubrey's going in the 13th round, and he's like, sounds like you drafted some dumbass leagues. And I'm like, it's your Football Guys draft, bro. You write for them. I'm like, that's where he's going. So. People just don't expect that. I mean, it is kind of crazy to think that a kicker is going in the 13th round.
It's different though, because look at the amount of, I mean, it wasn't that many years ago that seeing anybody kick a field goal over 53 yards was kind of, they're lining up for a 55-yarder and your ears perk up like, holy crap, this is a long one. And now, I mean, it's every game somebody's lining up for a 60-yarder. It's not a big deal. The Butker kicked that 69-yarder the other day, and it freaking cleared all the way back to the stands, like to the wall where the stands were. It would have been good from probably 72, 73 yards. So, when you start talking about kickers getting close to 7 points for a field goal, they do become relevant. And according to what, Greg has said on different live streams and everything else, kickers ain't going nowhere in the NFFC. He's keeping them. He loves having team kicker and the team D. So, and I honestly I kind of like it. It's a challenge if you want to stream. It's a challenge if you want to take the risk and draft one of the bigger legs a little bit early. You know, me and Dan did it in our prime time, and that's not something that we normally do. So we'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't come back and bite us, but we felt like it was the right time to do it. So.
Yeah, I did it last night because I was just looking at the board and I was just like, you know, I wasn't really crazy about anything and I didn't really feel like I had any crazy needs. So I was just like, it kind of fell right to me and I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to I'm not going to probably do it again. You know,
Texans kicker, wasn't it?
No, I took the Cowboys kicker. I took Aubrey.
Oh, you got Aubrey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Did you get the Texans defense then?
I got the Seahawks defense.
It was 1 o'clock. My eyeballs were my toothpicks were bending and my eyelids were shutting.
I don't blame y'all on the kicker because I sent you all both of you that there's a significant gap between defenses and kickers. If people really look at that paper I had sent you all, you know, Seattle had the top defense and kicker last year.
Sometimes, you know, and sometimes we what's the hot term now, galaxy brain. Sometimes we just overthink stuff, you know, and maybe we're overthinking the kicker thing. Maybe we're overthinking it by saying, hey, just take whoever's left in the last 2 rounds and stream all year long. You know, everybody, that's what's fun about this. Everybody has their different theories, but in every single draft, there's a team that takes the Rams D and the Cowboys kicker in rounds. You normally starts in round 12, 13 right there. So there's always somebody.
And I used to be one of them people, okay, I'm going to draft. I used to draft Justin Tucker all the time because I said, you know, he gives me all the points, and I'm sitting here taking dart throws on a wide receiver 5 or 6, or he's outscoring them. But at the same time, I used to take the latest bye weeks I could get, so I wouldn't have to deal with it till just before I really realized what I was doing with it. But that's just the exercise I do. I go through it after week 17 when we're done, before it flips over, because it keeps calculating totals. I always write down every position, how they score, just to have a idea how these players bounce back or what. But, you know, going back to the Cowboys, Steve, I would, you know, we talk about Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he has some good games, but I like to see the game log of how he done with. Did CeeDee Lamb miss some games? He probably was good during those games.
CeeDee missed, maybe CeeDee missed like 3 games last year.
Was that all he missed? I thought he might have missed more, but I can't remember.
CeeDee, 3 games.
Okay.
You got it.
4 games he missed early in the year.
Yeah.
I wonder go to Ferguson. I mean, Jake Ferguson.
Ferguson was like, you know, he did have a nice year. He caught 82 balls.
Yeah.
8 touchdowns. I mean, so, you know, maybe I am shitting on him a little bit too much. But I do, his numbers are pretty good in those games. Look, 21, 17, 23, 12, 21. And then after that, he died out.
After Lamb was healthy.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the freaking look at the touchdowns too in this game. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are that touchdowns there? Yeah. So, I mean, that's where he picked up all his production when CeeDee was out.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you know, you could take him, and then if one of those guys gets hurt again, I mean, you know, there you go. So,
and here's a question I got for you all, which we need Pete Nova. Did the Cowboys get any better on defense? I mean, I know they, you know.
The Cowboys are the NFC version of the Bengals, right? Like the
Usually,
Bengals got a little better on defense. The Cowboys, you know, I think if I remember right, I think Pete kind of said that the Cowboys didn't get better. And I'm not going to argue with Pete on that. I think they did a couple things to try to get a little bit more improved. So, Time will tell.
They got some
Right.
talent. They got some talent here. Overshawn, he's battled some injuries. They got Rashawn Gary from the Packers last year. They bring in Von Miller. Maybe they bring him on like certain downs. He's got a lot of juice. They take Caleb Downs. Bland's not a terrible corner. Quentin Williams. Kenny Clark. So, they might be better. I think they'll be better than last year. Malik Hooker's not bad. So, but either way, I mean, the Cowboys are going to play, fast paced. They're going to be up and down. They're probably going to get into a lot of high scoring games. Man, freaking Pickens. Some of the plays he made last year were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he was on an absolute heater. It was like a 4 or 5 game stretch. He was just making some ridiculous plays.
He's talented.
He is talented now. He's still kind of waiting for that contract, but I kind of feel like him and CeeDee they battle against each other to show off like who's the better receiver. So it kind of works. It works good there. And then, Josh did touch on Jayden Blue. That is interesting to kind of see who the second guy is going to be. I think Jadon's definitely the more complimentary back to DeVonta. And I think Jadon's probably got a role there no matter what, even if DeVonta goes down. The thing is like who steps in if DeVonta goes down? Is it Phil Maffa or is it Malik Davis? I kind of like Phil Maffa, but he hasn't been healthy. So, but again, he's a name to watch out for. Malik Davis is getting some hype now. Like he could be the RB2. Jadon Blue's kind of like more like that scat back, but he could have a nice role. So he's been an interesting pick in the offseason as well. Yeah, that's pretty much
Good fantasy pieces to own, part of.
Yeah. Their offensive coordinator, the Cowboys, is getting a lot of hype too. This Clayton Adams, a lot of people are hyping him up as like the next big head coach hire. He's like a run game specialist. They also have Ken Dorsey on the staff. We all remember Ken Dorsey, Miami quarterback, but then he was the Buffalo offensive coordinator. Remember, he got fired. The Bills' offense just wasn't clicking, and then they went to Joe Brady, and all of a sudden they started running the ball, and the offense just became much better once Dorsey kind of took a hike out of there. So, just another big name there. All right, let's wrap it up. I just like to go over the futures real quick, and then we'll take a look at the futures, and then we'll get see what we like here, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so let's see. NFC East, the Eagles plus 120, the Cowboys plus 205, the Commanders plus 500, and the Giants plus 600. So, what do you guys think there? Any long shots there with the Giants, the Commanders, maybe 6-1, 5-1? Joey?
Shoot. I'll probably go Eagles. They got the best defense in the division. But Washington and New York is both kind of, like I said, Dart Daniels makes them fun. I go Commanders.
You like the Commanders?
I think Eagles win the division, but if I was picking a long shot team,
yeah,
I go Commanders.
All right. How about you, Josh? Think Philly?
It's boring, but I think I go with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles are the favorites. This might sound like I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I think we've taken Hurts, we've got DeVonta Smith. I like Saquon Barkley, but you can like guys and not like the chances of their team winning. I don't know. feel like this could be a good year for the Cowboys. So I'll go with them. I don't. I think the Commanders coach, his name just slipped my mind, but I think he's on the hot seat there.
Quinn.
Quinn. Yeah, and with Tunzel going down, that might have really been a bad hurt for them. They may have been planning on making a play for Ayuk, which would have been great for him, but that kid's just lost his mind. So, then they end up with an older Diggs. And then the Giants, who knows? They've got a great coaching staff. They've got a good group of young players. They've got some old players too. They lose anybody else, OBJ's going to end up making the freaking roster, which is crazy. But no.
Think about DJ Reader, Josh, former Bengal, on their D.
He was a guy that I'd like to have seen stay in Cincinnati.
They got Carter, they got Burns, they got freaking, Thibodeau. They're coached up right. This defense could maybe.
Yeah, they can make some noise. So I don't know. It's first year under Harbaugh. They may just take off and dominate, or but my money would be on the Cowboys this year.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah, I think if I'm moving off Philly, it's probably going to be either the Cowboys or the Giants. I don't know about the Commanders with that freaking offense. I don't know, man. I just don't know if I see it with the Commanders. So, the Giants are interesting. They have a lot of talent.
I agree.
It's interesting that the Commanders are ahead of the Giants. I would almost have them equal, if not the Giants a little bit ahead, but I don't know.
If you look at it, will we all probably agree Harbaugh's probably the best coach in the division?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Sirianni's but so does Harbaugh. So.
Mm-hmm.
He also lost a lot of important games in Baltimore.
Yeah, I would give Harbaugh. I would say he's the best coach in the division too. So yeah, I like the Giants 6-1 there. I think it's a decent bet.
And I know, we know that, I like Wicks and we got Lemon there, but when you look at it, Commanders has probably got the second best pair of wide receivers behind Pickens and CeeDee as a whole. Just based on how Diggs does, I don't think neither one of them teams will win it, but
Eagles 10.5 wins. Cowboys are 9.5. Giants are 7.5, and so are the Commanders. 7.5 wins as well. If I can get the Dolphins at over 4.5 plus 150, kind of like that one. But we'll save that for next week. AFC East. Any more thoughts there, guys? Before we wrap this baby up, we want to get out of here.
I don't think so. It was a fun draft. I know I'm definitely doing another Gladiator. I think you said that you guys might do one next week. So I don't know. We may jump in another one together or jump in one separate and try to do a couple streams. The Gladiators are fun, and I think streaming them gets them to fill. It filled pretty quick once Greg shared that you were streaming it, Steve. So that was a good time. And then you got the auction tomorrow night. Is that right?
Yeah, auction tomorrow night, and
I'm gonna watch that.
Probably, people been loving the auctions. I've been getting comments. People are sending messages. You got to do more auctions. So it's kind of a niche thing, but people love it, and there's not really a lot of content for it. So people will eat it up. So yeah, that'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll do the our second auction. I'm going to New York and I'm doing an auction there with the guys. So I want to get prepped for that. But again, my first draft ever when I was 15 was an auction league. So I got baptized into fantasy football with auctions. So I've been doing it ever since. My first draft, I had Terry Allen, John Elway, and Michael Jaxson, the receiver from Baltimore. And all I did was I looked at the stats from the year before, and that's what I did. Terry Allen had 21 touchdowns that year. And I remember one of the guys in the draft goes, he's never going to repeat those numbers. And I'm like, he was right. I think Terry Allen had like 9 touchdowns the next year or something like that. But, yeah, auctions are a good time. Again, we got tons of more live drafts, Josh and Dan every Monday. It's going to be cool too is like going back through all these drafts and kind of staying up on them. Obviously, we got the tag team draft, but we're in other drafts together too. So, we'll have to monitor that well throughout the year. What do you think, you guys? What do you think you guys are going to be doing most of the year? Like a nice, like fab breakdown on the show? Or?
We were planning on doing a kind of we were going to go live at 10:15 on Wednesday nights and do like a 20-minute show, hit like the big movers and where the big spenders were at on fab and this and that, but really kind of focus it on the tag team division because that would still really kind of hit everything. Right. But then they announced that the fab was running at 11.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was already pushing it, getting Dan to stay up and do a.
So why don't you guys just do a predictive one, like almost like?
Well, we could, but we're going to be working on our fab. So, so I don't know. We may
have it done by 10, and then just do it from there. Like you.
Yeah, we may go on early Thursday or something like that for a short show that maybe recaps a little bit of the fab or looks into the weekend. We haven't decided, and if we can't find a good fit for it, then maybe we'll take a break or something. But no, it's been a lot of fun, and it's hard when me and Dave, we're not analysts, we're just fantasy football players, so trying to find a different kind of niche. But guys like Steve G and you guys and everybody else buying into the tag team made it fun, and now Steve coming on Monday night, and if he brings Hubbard and Nelson on, me and Dan are in the 10 o'clock OC. So I told Steve G, I was like, you've been saying you're coming on as soon as you get back from Greece. I was like, you're in the legacy draft Friday night. I want you on Monday night. Come on Monday night, give us 15 minutes and recap the board or something. So, and then it sounds like he's going to try to get Nelson and Hubbard on too. And that'll be really cool to get to hear them talk about how that draft broke down. I mean, we're all going to watch it, so and then get to hear their perspective on it. It'll be fun. So we're all
get that, man, and that's going to be awesome. The 100K draft. So Josh is going to have them on Monday, and then I think you guys will probably have guys on during the year too, right?
Yeah, that was our goal, was to figure out a way to get everybody in the tag team league, at least one of the partners on once a week, and have people kind of talk about how their team's doing or how the draft was or whatever. It's I think everybody enjoyed it. It brought challenges. It brought different builds from what people are used to doing. Really, Joey and Nelson, their build was totally different for both of them.
When Henry falls to in the third round like that, you got to take him every single time.
Yeah, and that's so once everybody kind of bought into the tag team idea, and then we had everybody, hey, I'll stream, and I'm like, all right, well, geez, we got 5 or 6 different people that can stream, and it's like, well, now we can get everybody that's in the draft on a stream, and people can go back and watch it. So then you're able to go back and watch people talk about, okay, now this is how we got to build this. That's what's educational. That's what's cool. And for people that are, trying to learn more or get into the NFFC or just get better as a fantasy player. That's really kind of what me and Dan's goal was try to get new people involved, and hopefully we have. So
Yeah, we also got to, Joe, we got to get your thoughts on the Kentucky draft, man. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And question for you, Steve: How soon are you get your draft spots for New York? Is it tomorrow?
No, I don't know actually.
5 days.
Is it 5 days out or 7 days out?
5 days.
5, okay.
So if you draft at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday in New York, your KDS is going to run at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, and you'll find out your draft spot. I think that's right, or maybe it's Monday.
Auction at 1, and then I have a OC at 4, prime time at 6, and then I have a bullet at 10. So that's going to be my day. But I'm leaving Thursday. I'm staying in the city Thursday, Friday night, and then I'm gonna spend some time with my best friend down the shore, and then Tuesday I'm gonna be doing that auction that I told you about, the first ever league I was in. I'm gonna be doing that live actually with my brother, going by his friend's house. So that's gonna be cool. I haven't drafted live with those guys in a long time. I have 2 other drafts that night too, so I got to do an auction and 2 other drafts too, which is crazy. But I'll get it all done. And then I'm flying home Wednesday, and then I plan on a couple more live drafts, fit whatever best balls and drafts I can do before the season starts. And that's it, man. We'll be off and running. Wednesday, Thursday night, and then that Sunday it's
the real work starts.
Yeah.
Line up decision. The grind.
So that's important. We got to find time to stay grounded, take a nice break whenever we can. So thanks guys for coming on. Again, good draft tonight. Joey, have a good time down in Kentucky. Again, make sure you guys check out Monday night, Legacy draft, Friday night at 10 Eastern on the High Stakes Network for NFFC on YouTube. But then Monday night, Josh and Dan are going to have Steve G and possibly Nelson Souza and David Hubbard, 3 of the best high stake players in the world on Monday night, talking about the first ever Legacy draft. So that's absolute dynamite that they're doing that. These guys are doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job. So that's it, boys.
10:30 September 1st at on the NFFC is the Beat Steve Bulanda Eliminator League, formerly known as a Guillotine League. It's $100 Eliminator League. Steve writes the Eliminator article on RotoWire every week, and trying to get that filled. I believe he's streaming it either on the NFFC or on RotoWire. He'll be streaming it, so we're going to try to help him get that filled.
This Monday,
10:30 Tuesday. It's on September 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. So September 1st, 10:30. Me and Dan are both in it separately. When it comes to the eliminators, we don't team up on that. So
that's whoever gets the least points is eliminated, right? That week.
Yeah. So it's basically a guillotine. If you don't score the most points, if you score the least amount of points, you're gone.
That'd be fun. I've done those at Scott Fishbowl.
Yeah, they're fun, Joey. If you don't get knocked out the first week, I've done 2 of them. I got knocked out the first week both times. So
I may jump in that. That's 17 teams, right? And that.
Yep, 17. It's 17 teams.
Okay.
So it's when you're that 17th pick, it's a long wait. And then you get to double click, and then you're sitting there waiting forever. So
is that third round reversal?
Rabbit Dad about that draft. See if he wants to jump in.
Yeah, Rabbit Dad needs to do it. So Rabbit Dad and Steve, they actually talked quite a bit up at the expo.
Oh, nice.
And that's where me and Dan met Steve at, and then he reached out to us a couple days ago. So we're going to try to do our part to hype that up and get it filled over the weekend, and
all right.
and rock and roll. But yeah,
I think I'm going to get into it.
good deal.
Although we'll have to keep our buddy Gamberger rounded out. So he's got.
Maybe we'll stream that too. We'll see.
He's got over 52. He'll have 52 OCs. Did you know that?
Gamber's got 52 OCs.
We're gonna need to have an intervention.
Yeah. He's gonna have to have some therapy.
I mean, that's not even that much compared to some of these other guys.
I know it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot.
I'm
But,
helping him.
good for him, man. He's having fun with it.
I'm gonna have 55, I think, total leagues between home leagues and high stakes.
How many FFPC teams have you got?
I think I have 6 gorillas and 1 main.
Wait just a second.
But I have no FFWCs this year, and I usually do like 4 or 5 of those every year too. So that kind of helps me cut down. But right now I have about 37 teams, so I think I'm going to finish around 50. But I had 50 last year, so with high stakes and home leagues, I'm in like 7 or 8 home leagues, and the rest is high stakes.
Are you counting best balls too?
No best balls.
Those are all managed.
All manager.
Yeah, man.
But you know,
I have thought about doing a big gorilla.
honestly, Josh, I could do 50, like whatever it is, high stakes. If it's 35, 40 leagues, I could get it done in like 3 hours on my pickups. I can breeze through it pretty quick. So, it's not. I mean, I work on it a little bit too, but I go through it pretty quick. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like with that's probably the hardest part for me and Dan when it comes to the partnership is the fab. And last year we kind of started to get a little bit of a niche. Hopefully this year we're able to make it better. So make it run a little smoother.
yeah, no, even Joe and I, we only had like 1 or 2 teams together, but we didn't really communicate as best as we could on the fab. So that's something obviously in the tag team is something we got to work on. So
Yeah.
I know we hit some good. We gave out some good names last year on these shows. But,
Yeah.
So
I wish I'd listened to my own advice.
I know it's like you got to go back and re-listen to things. We did a lot of shows together, man. We did all the division previews. We did those lesson learned shows. Maybe go back and check one of those out. But that's it, guys. Again, make sure you guys like, subscribing, follow us all on X on below. More drafts to come before the season starts. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.